Coming up on the Locked On Ole Miss podcast, we go over what we can expect from early signing day on Wednesday. Stick around.
Your daily podcast on the Ole Miss Rebels. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
All right. Welcome to the Locked On Ole Miss podcast. I want to thank you for making the Locked On Ole Miss podcast your first listen every day. We are free and available on all platforms and soon to be YouTube. So you can catch us there as well. I want to tell you that today's episode is brought to you by Sonos. Sonos is the official sponsor of ESPN College Football. Go to Sonos.com to learn more. All right. Today we're going to talk all about early signing day. All three segments, we're going to blow out early signing day. Before we get started, I do want to let you know that I'm going to be doing interviews later on in the week. They'll appear on the show with the Locked On Big 12 guy, and we'll talk a little bit about the Sugar Bowl. And I'm trying to figure out what his name is. Josh Neighbors of Locked On Big 12 is going to talk with me about the Sugar Bowl, and he's going to tell me about the Baylor Bears. We're going to do that on a Locked On show in the future. We're also going to have Bill Flowers later on this week, so we're going to start to get into the guest aspect of this. It's going to be real similar to the Pomcast and everything you remember with the Pomcast, but a new flair is going to be added to it. So this is the Locked On Ole Miss podcast. Thank you very much for listening. Numbers yesterday were pretty good, so thank you for a debut like that the numbers can be that good. That's pretty cool. And so early signing day, I think Ole Miss is expecting, there's 13 kids that we know about right now. I don't expect any real defections. I mean, there's some drama with some kids taking late visits to a school. There's going to be drama here. But if you follow the every minute up and down that goes with being a fan of really any school, anything that goes on, you're going to drive yourself absolutely crazy because everything is so fluid. They count on that. You can just find out. So the kids that sign on the dotted line, that's where I'm going to put my energy. And there's players that's already announced that they're going to be signing with Ole Miss, like Nick Call and Quinshon Judkins, and I think let's see, bunch of players. We're going to go over the list in just a second. Actually, let's bring it up now. I need to change the audio to make sure this doesn't go crazy. All right, here's the 2022 commitments. Xavier Harris, absolutely a mountain of a man that is going to play that nice nose guard position. Quinshon Judkins, very good player. Taylor Groves from Nashville, he has indicated that he is signing on Twitter. Jacarius Clayton is the prospect that took the last-minute visit to Mississippi State. Larry Simmons looks solid. Timmy Gargaffian looks solid. Jeremiah Dillon, excellent player, by the way, looks solid. Kyron Heath, solid. Preston Cushman, solid. Reginald Hughes, you saw him the other day on his official visit, solid. Jarrell Stinson, solid. Nick Cole, solid. Jalen White, solid. That's the one thing with this staff that you can count on, is that signing day is not going to be an extremely drastic event to where you worry about major splays. Now, there are going to be surprises probably that are going to pop up on that day. There's probably 4 or 5 players that Ole Miss will sign that is not on this list. I expect Ole Miss to get to about 17 or 18 or 19 of their freshman signing class. And then the rest of that, they're going to hit the transfer portal really hard. And the benefit of that is you get to sign 32 initials if you lose 7 transfers the year. That's the reason you saw those players transfer, is because they needed the initials. And they were, for lack of a better word, I mean, just understand that they were processed out of the program. That's the reason they transferred. That's the reason they went to Indiana or wherever they went. But in doing so, gives you 32 initials per year to sign. And because of that, you're able to transform your roster at a much quicker rate. If you think about it, 32 initials is nearly turning over half of your roster of the 85 in one signing class. So you have a chance to get really good really quick thanks to the transfer portal. Everybody talks about the benefits that hit schools that are in the portal, like Alabama and Ohio State and schools like that. The benefit are the second-tier schools. Sure, the major programs like Texas and Alabama can fill needs. I mean, Jamison Williams can sign with Alabama. Yes, that's absolutely the case. But the second tier that can't recruit at the level of an Alabama, Ohio State, it can't recruit at that level, now has a way to make up ground in the talent game. Basically, what this does is it takes a top 2 or 3 in each conference and makes a top 5 or 6. And you're going to see more teams be competitive because of this. Now, you're going to see people, you're absolutely going to see people that are just heck bent on moving early signing day and everything just because they don't like all the movement. They want everything nice and predictable. Whenever you deal with a college football, it is not predictable. I think 12 or 13 quarterbacks are in the transfer portal right now that includes like Bo Nix, Keaton Slovis, Dylan Gabriel, Spencer Rattler. I mean, really nice quarterbacks are available in the portal for a second-time recruitment. And if somebody like Bo Nix can end up, now if Bo Nix can end up in Ole Miss's system that runs the quarterback and does things, or well, did with Jeff Levy, he'd have a chance to be really special. I could see some Bo Nix at a Baylor-esque system doing really, really well in the future. I don't know why he went to, well, I do know why, into the Gus Malzahn spread. He was not a fit for that. I don't know why he didn't jump to the transfer portal early with Brian Harsin. I guess just because his dad is an Auburn legend or whatnot, and it became something that he wanted to, be. It's a crazy thing. But him going down that road and him trying like heck to be successful, I guess you can understand why he would do that. So, when you look at Gus Malzahn at Central Florida, everybody is going to talk with Bo Nix, especially Gus Malzahn. I don't think Gus Malzahn is a fit for him. I don't think Gus Malzahn is a fit for Tank Bigsby. I don't see either one of them at Central Florida. Now, who was second in their recruitment? That becomes the thing. Whenever you have the transfer portal being what it is, it's not about winning these battles anymore. It's about being in the top 2. If you can get in the top 2, then you can be the place that they go to. After they use their one-time transfer, you can be the place they land. And you can see that some coaches really pressure players to commit. They just do. And some coaches let them work at their own pace. Lane Kiffin does not pressure kids to commit. He is very much a come here if you want to kind of person. And because of that, it's going to work out more often than not that he is going to be the guy. They're going to commit. They're going to want. That's how you get a signing day that's not very much drama, is the fact that they're not hot box to commit. They genuinely want to come here when they come here. And because of that, signing day and early signing day becomes less and less of a thing. But remember, at the beginning of the Kiffin era. He talked about signing day and JUCOs and the transfer portal and graduate transfers and all different ways to construct your team. And now you can actually see that happening around college football. That's very, very interesting. All right, BetOnline has you covered all season with more props, odds, and lines than ever before as football continues its march to the playoffs. BetOnline remains your number one spot for sports action all this season. Head to our new updated desktop or mobile website to sign up today and receive 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use promo code LOCKEDON to receive your bonus. From basketball, football, NHL, boxing, and UFC to your favorite Vegas casino games, don't wait to take advantage of all the amazing offers available for 2021. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet all your favorite sports. BetOnline, where the game starts. Bowl season is here, Ole Miss fans. Basically, you can set up entry and handle daily fantasy through PrizePicks. Use promo code LOCKEDON for your entry. PrizePicks is the leader in college sports daily fantasy. It offers more college football and basketball props than anyone in the world and offers the all-star players of the Power 5 as well as the mid-major players you might not have even heard of. PrizePicks offers any prop you can think of. In basketball, you can play points, rebounds, assists, threes made, or more. All of your users that deposit and use the promo code LOCKEDON will get a 100% instant deposit match of up to $100. Just use promo code LOCKEDON. Basically, you pick 2 to 5 players and an over-under on their projections, and you can win up to 10 times. On any entry, it's just you versus the projected numbers. PrizePicks allows multiple sports. You can take the over on Mahomes and the under on LeBron James. Use the award-winning app for the App Store and Google Play. Entries can be made in 60 seconds or less. It's that easy. So PrizePicks offers safe and fast withdrawals. That's PrizePicks. Promo code Locked On for your entry today. All right, welcome back to the show, the Locked On Ole Miss Podcast. Thank you very much for making Locked On Ole Miss your first listen every day. Make sure to check out the Ultimate College Football Preview 2021, local experts, betting advice, and draft analysis. The most comprehensive college football playoff preview begins this Friday. I will be, like I said, talking with Josh Neighbors from Locked On Big 12 about the Ole Miss Baylor game that will be a part of that. So we're talking early signing day. We went over who we expect Ole Miss to sign. I think this segment we're going to talk about what the transfer portal and the role it plays is moving forward. And basically, if you look at signing classes all through history, there was probably 12 to 15 that were significant contributors to your team, and 12 to 15 that didn't quite pan out. The difference between a good class and a bad class was probably getting a good class, you're hitting 18 out of 25. A bad class, you're hitting 10. That's the difference between good and bad. And because of that, recruiting had a interesting worth. And the reason for that is everybody knows what a 5-star player. You can go to a high school field and pick out the 5-star instantly. You can sometimes pick out the 4-star, and a 3-star is a crapshoot. It's very system driven. If you're a pro-style quarterback, you'd need to go someplace like Texas A&M for you to have a chance. If you went to someplace like Ole Miss or Tennessee, something like that, you would have trouble. They need more dual threat guys. It's all system driven, especially when you come down to a 3-star, which is why you could have great players come out that was a 3-star just because they had the right mentality to pick the right system for their skill set to get them seen for the pros. If you are a 3-star and go to the wrong place, let's say, I always say this, like Troy Aikman signed with Oklahoma, a wishbone team out of high school. He ended up at UCLA and ended up the number 1 pick in the draft. But he signed with Oklahoma. This might be the worst possible fit anybody could have, was him going to Oklahoma to run the wishbone. He obviously did not win that job. I mean, that completely, makes sense. He did not win that job. And because of that, you can understand that if you're a 3-star, it's all about the system fit. Now, if you are a pocket passer and go to a wishbone running team, you can't really blame the NFL for not seeing you, for you not having film, for you not fitting in. You made the wrong choice out of high school, whether through fandom or whatever. He was an Oklahoma kid. I'm sure he was an Oklahoma fan, and he wanted to be a Sooner. But what they did was not a fit for what he did. And there was no way that he was going to prove himself in that system. That's the same problem most 3-stars have. If somebody's a 3-star, they are very system dependent. There's players out there that would be perfect for Ole Miss's system, perfect for Florida system, perfect for Mississippi State system, but there will rarely be a player that would be perfect for all 3. That's what a 3-star recruit is. Understand it. So it's evaluation centric, and that's the reason a good class, like I said, is hitting on 18, a bad class is hitting on 10. Well, in the transfer portal now, you might sign 16 or 17 kids, and you can be really sure about your evaluation on those guys. Hopefully you can get up to the level to where those evaluations are 4-stars or at least high 3s. And then the rest is going to be proven commodities in the transfer portal. That's the reason we're talking Ole Miss is probably going to sign 16 or 17 kids on early signing day. Most people would think, wow, that's not that many. But it's going to leave room open in the transfer portal. There's rumors all over the place. UCLA is in on Spencer Rattler and Dillon Gabriel. Spencer Rattler goes to UCLA. That probably puts Ole Miss in the catbird seat for Dillon Gabriel, who is their number 1 choice to replace Matt Corral. They're going after Zach Evans from TCU, former number 1 running back in the country, 5-star, that ended up going with TCU 2 years ago. They have a chance to be a second get for him. He does not visit Oklahoma. He has not visited Tennessee. It looks like it's Ole Miss or TCU at this point. Deion Smith, great wide receiver out of Provine, ended up going to LSU with the ouster of Ed Orgeron. He started looking around. Ole Miss was second. Lane Kiffin really recruited Deion Smith hard. Ole Miss was second on that list. So Ole Miss is probably going to get a benefit of being in the top 2. And that's near 5-stars at running back and wide receiver and a all-conference level quarterback coming in. You're talking about just with those 3 guys and signing day, Ole Miss might not miss much of a beat moving forward. Now, that sounds absolutely weird for a team playing in the Sugar Bowl and winning 10 games, but there are weapons all over the place, and they're recruiting these young guys mainly for defense. You see all these tweeners showing up like Jalen White and Nick Cole and things like that, and they're designed to be these box safeties in the 3-2-6. The 6'2", 6'3", 210 pounds, runs a 4.5 40. They have the speed to play outside. They're perfect for this system. So it's very interesting to see. And moving forward, I think this is the way that this is going to go. So I'm pretty impressed by that. When we come back, we'll continue on early signing day a little bit. And also, Jay's take about Brian Kelly is going to air in the next segment as well. So, stick around. Let's talk about Omaha Steaks. Basically, I had a nice Christmas memory of just opening up a nice juicy sirloin steak that was here on Christmas, believe it or not. So we have a tradition of eating roast beef and steak and things like that at Christmas. So we do that through Omaha Steaks because it's so juicy. The holidays are right around the corner, and finding the perfect gift is tricky. Omaha Steaks makes it easy to send to friends and family, an unforgettable gift guaranteed to be loved. Go to omahasteaks.com and enter college into the search bar to order the perfect gift package for $99.99. That's 1 cent less than $100. You'll get 24 entries like the world famous bacon wrapped filet mignons, chicken breast, sides, desserts, and so much more. So use college, that's the key word, when you'll get 8 additional Omaha Steaks burgers free with your order. So we've all heard the reports of shortages and shipping delays, so don't wait. Order the perfect gift package today at omahasteaks.com and you'll get 8 free burgers when entering the code college. Achieve gifting greatness with Omaha Steaks. Incredible flavor, incredible value, and 100% guaranteed. omahasteaks.com, keyword college.
So by now, I'm guessing you've seen the clip of new LSU football coach Brian Kelly and that disastrous address he had to the student body in Baton Rouge. If you haven't seen it yet, enjoy this.
It's a great night to be a Tiger. I'm here with my family, and we are so excited to be in the great state of Louisiana, but more importantly, to be with you great fans.
There is so much wrong with that, I don't even know where to start. But we'll begin here. I'm not even sure what Brian Kelly said because really all I could hear was a grown man from Massachusetts faking a horrible Southern accent for God knows what reason.
To be a Tiger.
And there are so many questions too. Did Brian pre-plan that or did it just sort of happen spontaneously?
But more importantly,
did anyone else know in advance that he was going to go out there and do that?
My family.
And if they did, why didn't they tackle him before he went out there and embarrassed himself?
We are so excited.
But the biggest question I have for Brian Kelly is why? College football is all about recruiting, and Kelly likely left Notre Dame for 2 reasons. One, the money, and secondly, he's finally out from under those rigid recruiting restrictions that probably kept him from winning a national title in South Bend. He had some pretty good teams. So let's talk about the recruiting end of it. Kelly has spent much of his adult life trying to convince teenagers to come play for him. If there's one thing kids can sniff out from a country mile, it's phony. That's the worst thing you can be to a teenager, fake. You know, they like to keep it 100. Well, Brian went all in on fake when he tried on day one to be something he's not.
It's a great night.
I'm Jay Crawford, and that's my take.
All right. That was Jay's take, talking about Brian Kelly. So we're going to do that periodically. You'll see stuff like that on the show as well. So that's pretty cool. In the first segment, we talked about the high school kids that are probably going to sign on December 15th. That'd be Wednesday. In the second segment, we talked about a little bit about the transfer portal and what that means. In a combination of those two, I think you could have a really, really solid class, probably above anything that has come into Ole Miss. But because people don't know how to take it, I think they are going to freak out a little bit whenever they only see that Ole Miss signs 16 high school kids and there's upper 3 stars and a couple of 4 stars, and they're trying to get a recruiting thing started inside the state, which I don't think that is happening and is all as well. And I just think that in the future, it's going to look a little bit differently. And signing day has lost so much of its importance. Thank goodness, by the way. And this is from somebody that worked 10 years at Rivals. Thank goodness. Whenever the early signing day was created, and then the transfer portal was created, then the 1-year free transfer was allowed. Once that happened, really signing day lost a lot of its gusto. And by signing day, I mean the one in February, not the early signing day that's happening in a couple of days. Now, because whenever you have people that can sign transfer-wise, they can come in at any point. Only an SEC one has to announce before signing day. You have to announce your intention and transfer before February to be eligible, or the SEC will make you sit. If it's interconference, if you're going from, say, LSU to Ole Miss, you have to do it. But if you're coming outside in, you can come in and do it anywhere. If you're like from Utah or something like that, they'll let you go ahead and play. So the different timetables on all of the transfers and the signings and everything, and it just basically spaces it out. If signing day doesn't go the way you like it, there's another signing day. There's transfer portal, intra-conference, and there's transfer portal, interconference, and there's a late signing day to correct and fill your holes. It's about filling needs, basically, is what's going on. And this allows Ole Miss more opportunities to do it. Whenever you had certain schools that were signing multiple great players like Georgia and Alabama do, now they have to keep them happy. And if you don't, they could disappear. And people say, well, why would we want their leftovers? Why do we want their secondhand scraps? And the answer is, Jameson Williams could not get on the field at Ohio State. He is by far the best wide receiver in the SEC. Joe Burrow was third string at Ohio State. He was one of the greatest college quarterbacks that ever lived at LSU. It's all about system, and it's all about fit. And if you can evaluate, you have a chance to be really, really special. This has been the Locked On Ole Miss Podcast. Thanks for making the Locked On Ole Miss Podcast your first listen every day. As it goes forward, we'll work on early signing day some more and talking about little news that could happen in between now and Wednesday, or on Wednesday for signing day. It'll be recorded on Tuesday night, by the way, so don't expect anything up to the minute. So it should be available Wednesday morning, just because the end of this year I'm doing a bunch of radiation and I don't want to get it on live shows just yet. So after the new year, we'll be live. And over here, there'll be a chat module that you can participate in. And we hope to make this a community. We want perspectives. We want analysis. We want all of that stuff. And we hope to bring that to you. But thanks for making the Locked On Ole Miss Podcast your first listen every day. Now make your second listen Locked On Bets, your daily one-stop shop for all your gambling needs. Locked On Bets, hosted by your boy Q, with expert analysis and insight from Lee Sterling, is free and available on all platforms. I do want to say thank you very much. Tune in to that, and tell your friends about the show. Evangelize it, retweet it, do whatever you need to do. We're growing this. We want this to be a different perspective. But this has been the Locked On Ole Miss Podcast. We'll see you tomorrow.